The Factories Act 1948, Act No. 63 of 1948, Chapter 6, Working Hours of Adults, 65. Power to make exempting orders. 1. Where the state government is satisfied that, owing to the nature of the work carried on or to other circumstances, it is unreasonable to require that the periods of work of any adult workers in any factory or class or description of factories should be fixed beforehand, it may, by written order, relax or modify the provisions of Section 61 in respect of such workers therein, to such extent and in such manner as it may think fit, and subject to such conditions as it may deem expedient to ensure control over periods of work. 2. The state government or, subject to the control of the state government, the chief inspector may by written order exempt, on such conditions as it or he may deem expedient, any or all of the adult workers in any factory or group or class or description of factories from any or all of the provisions of Sections 51, 52, 54 and 56 on the ground that the exemption is required to enable the factory or factories to deal with an exceptional press of work. 3. Any exemption granted under subsection 2 shall be subject to the following conditions, namely, I. The total number of hours of work in any day shall not exceed 12. A. The spread over, inclusive of intervals for rest, shall not exceed 13 hours in any one day, i.e., the total number of hours of work in any week, including overtime, shall not exceed 60. If no worker shall be allowed to work overtime for more than 7 days at a stretch, and the total number of hours of overtime work in any quarter shall not exceed 75. Explanation. In this subsection, quarter has the same meaning as in subsection 4 of Section 64. 66. Further restrictions on employment of women. 1. The provisions of this chapter shall, in their application to women in factories, be supplemented by the following further restrictions, namely, A. No exemption from the provisions of Section 54 may be granted in respect of any woman. B. No woman shall be required or allowed to work in any factory except between the hours of 6 a.m. and 7 p.m., provided that the state government may, by notification in the official gazette, in respect of for any factory or group or class or description of factories vary the limits laid down in Clause B, but so that no such variation shall authorize the employment of any woman between the hours of 10 p.m. and 5 am. 5c. There shall be no change of shifts except after a weekly holiday or any other holiday. 2. The state government may make rules providing for the exemption from the restrictions set out in subsection 1 to such extent and subject to such conditions as it may prescribe, of women working in fish curing or fish canning factories, where the employment of women beyond the hours specified in the said restrictions is necessary to prevent damage to or deterioration in any raw material. 3. The rules made under subsection 2 shall remain in force for not more than 3 years at a time.